You're listening to the John and Heidi Show. Now, featuring the wit and wisdom of Dan Farris.
Okay, dudes, let's walk this sucker.
On Sunny 93.3.
Faith, freedom, and the best music of the 80s and 90s. You are listening to Sunny 93.3. It's time now for the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris. How you doing, Dan?
I'm doing really well. What are we, about 5 days from Christmas?
It's
Is that
sneaking
true?
right up, yeah.
Holy cow, not
fast.
even. You guys all ready? You said?
I'm ready.
You got, yeah. Okay.
I'm going to start shopping soon. So.
Yeah, I took it easy on myself this year. I didn't buy anything for anyone because, I just think it cheapens the holiday. So there you go. That's my huge
Don't encourage
day.
them, Dan.
And you know that I'm not a big movie guy.
I've noticed that.
I've had some favorites over the years. I've certainly gone and watched movies, but it's not really a thing for me.
Yeah.
But there is one that I've just loved pretty much my entire life, and that is It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh, that is a great
It's
movie.
a mainstay around the holidays. You know that thing actually premiered this day in 1946.
Oh, wow.
That's how long it's been around. And, of course, Jimmy Stewart, Donna Reed, Lionel Barrymore is Clarence the Angel.
Yeah?
For $1 million, I Can't Pay You If You're Right. What Clarence had a last name in that film. Do you recall what that was?
I do not.
Clarence
Well,
Parker?
here you go. We're learning something here. Clarence
Baker?
Oddbody.
Clarence
Oddbody.
Odbody.
I don't know why I would have known that.
But it's really funny when you boil it down, and if you're cynical about it, when you really get into this film and watch it several times, like I have, It's like, oh my goodness, this was like the first crash of the savings and loan. There's alcoholism, suicidal tendencies. It's a pretty dark movie.
It is. Well, here's the amazing thing. I just read a really interesting, like a 5-minute article that I read about the fact that it was some of the most amazing acting ever, but for the lead of the movie, he wasn't really acting. He had
James.
had just gotten back from war, and what they referred to as shell shock back then is what he was suffering from. And he was going through, by the way, he signed up. He was one of the biggest stars in Hollywood at the time. And they tried to just get him to do like recruitment films because they're like, Jimmy Stewart, we're not sending you over there. But he wanted to go. He wanted to go over, and he was flying because he was a pilot. Amazing hero of a man. But when he came back, he was really gaunt. And when you look at how he appears in that film, he was a broken man. And they said that he would break down while they were doing these takes, and he wasn't acting. He was living that. So I loved the movie before that, but then after watching it, I'm like, oh man, it's an amazing movie. But then I kind of feel bad for Jimmy Stewart. You're like, oh, this guy.
Well, yeah, knowing that story, then you look at the film with different eyes too.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, if you've never seen that movie, by the way, it's nobody's fault but your own. It's
on like 10,000 times this
is.
season. So
it is, and it's a great one to see. It's a Wonderful Life. Dan, thank you for coming in. We'll have you back in a bit. How's that sound?
I am going to go grab some fresh coffee, then strap yourselves in, because this could be possibly the greatest show I've ever done. Then again, it's just going to fill a void of mediocrity. It could go either way.
It's one or the other. It's all on the way. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris on Sunny 93.3.
It's the most wonderful time of the year, but it can also be expensive. One survey found 44% of shoppers racked up more than $1,000 in holiday debt last year, and 5% accumulated more than $5,000 in debt. Are you still paying for last year's Christmas gifts? Maybe you need better credit cards. We'd love to help at bettercreditcards.com. Find a card that's a better fit for your needs. Some like cards with points or miles. Others just want a lower rate. Find what you're looking for at bettercreditcards.com.
Faith, freedom, and the best music of the 80s and 90s. You are listening to Sunny 93.3. It is time right now for Ranger Dan's Critter Corner.
Well, I'm rough, tough, and ready. I'm a heck of a man. Eat my beans and weenies from a frying pan.
He's Ranger Dan.
Easy. I'm Ranger Dan. Well, I loves to wrestle bears and lasso ducks, run over possums in my government truck.
He's Ranger Dan.
Easy. I'm Ranger Dan. Well, I loves all the campers and the animals too. If you're picking on critters, I'm coming after you.
He's Ranger Dan.
Yes, sir. I'm Ranger Dan.
Good morning, Ranger Dan.
Good morning, Ranger Dan.
Good morning there, Smalls, Heidi. John. Oh, Rangers at home. You know, we're less than a week from Christmas, and got old Ranger Dan to thinking, of course. You know, I spend primarily most of my time looking out for the little woodland creatures, everything that crawls and flies and climbs and flutters and swims. And
we learn about them a lot, yeah.
You know, it's time to kind of big picture this whole thing, how even, you know, my life came to be. I'm a ranger. When you look at everything started, of course, God created all things, and all creatures big and small, and then gave mankind dominion over all those things.
Yeah.
That's why, so when you think about it, the good Lord was really kind of the first ranger.
Yeah,
that is
hadn't thought
so
about that,
deep,
but yeah, absolutely.
Ranger Dan.
So yeah, those ties run deep, and I take that pretty seriously.
Yeah, absolutely.
And nature of that, and really thinking about the connections and how we all are all connected on some level, and just taking care of things. I'd like to announce that Ranger Dan Enterprises is.
Yes.
Just in time for the holidays, when people gathering around, and really the reason for the season. It's the Ranger Dan, Ranger Baby Jesus nativity scene. It's kind of our own take on what it really means. Yep, these are all 7-inch figures. It's a 12-piece set, and of course, in place of the sheep and the lambs and the chickens and the cows, it comes with deer, bears, raccoons, a couple possums. Mary and Joseph look resplendent in their plaid shirts. Hiking boots. The 3 wise men are actually done up in beautiful official game, fish, and parks department uniforms. Ranger Baby Jesus is beautifully swaddled in a down-filled vest and topped with a adorable, tiny little Ranger Dan hat complete with halo. Sure to be a hit this holiday season.
Yeah.
Well, you can get the Ranger Dan, Ranger Baby Jesus nativity set for just $49.95, but wait, great for gifts too. Get a second set for just $53.95. Ranger Dan, Baby Ranger Jesus nativity set available on Amazon Prime, or you can pick it up Northview Bait and Tackle on North Quantice or the Log Cabin Bar on West Burnside. Ranger Dan, reminding little radio rangers, go to school, go to church, say your prayers, eat your vegetables, don't be playing soccer, and goodness gracious, don't let me catch you wearing Crocs. Ranger Dan, out? Yeah, sir.
Again, Ranger Dan's Critter Corner exclusively on Sunny 93.3.
This time of year, we have many events that involve alcohol. If you struggle to drink without drinking too much, there is help. There are programs designed to help take alcohol out of your life for good at timeforrehab.com. Don't let a drinking problem spill over into other areas of your life. Get help to quit drinking and start living the life you truly deserve at timeforrehab.com. Your insurance may cover everything. Learn more at timeforrehab.com. That's timeforrehab.com.
Faith, freedom, and the best music of the 80s and 90s. You are listening to Sunny 93.3. It's time now for Water Cooler Talk, brought to you by Aqua One. Mr. Dan Farris in the studio here. How you doing, Dan?
Pretty darn good. You know, we're within throwing distance of Christmas, and of course all this month I've been putting on my Santa Claus hat.
Yeah.
Giving
some stuff away.
Love our partnership with Mike and Jeff and the crew over at Tire Motive.
Yeah, good guys.
Great.
Fantastic
guys.
stuff. They've been ponying up free oil changes every week, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I'm not just talking, going and get a little cheap crude oil change, up to a $50 value. If you have a newer vehicle running synthetic, they'll take care of you with that too. So, hey, Courtney Sorensen, come on down.
Courtney Sorensen.
Twin Iron Tire Motive, driven by service on North Marion Road. And keep in mind, they started back 1st of November.
Wow.
Every oil change they were going to do in November.
Now December, too.
Some of those
proceeds?
A portion from every oil change is going to go to our friends Gail and the crew over at Big Paws Canine
Big
Foundation.
Paws
Awesome
Canine.
Service dogs, emotional support dogs for
Beautiful organization.
at-risk veterans, and also
First responders.
first responders injured in the line of duty. They do a phenomenal job. They're continuing that through December, so just a couple days left to get that done too.
Very cool.
So
Get
there
your
you
oil
go.
change. You need to do it anyway. Do it at Tire Motive.
Which leads me right to today's water cooler talk. I just found this interesting. It has nothing to do with Sioux Falls, but we're going down to Iowa for this one.
Oh, okay.
Because you hear more and more stories about this, and I get a little, that's a little crazy, but maybe, I don't know. Waterloo, Iowa.
Yeah.
By the way, Waterloo, my very first radio job
Really?
Yeah, back in 1932, radio was coal-powered.
32.
Was so weird. Marconi was still alive.
Nice.
A Iowa man is trying to regain custody of his emotional support coyote.
What?
There is a backstory to this, and maybe it makes more sense. Here, let's dig into this a little bit.
Okay.
It's a young coyote that he says has indeed become his emotional support animal. Guy's name is Matthew Stokes.
Okay.
And recently interviewed by the Waterloo Cedar Falls Courier that Drifter, the coyote's name, Drifter is a youngster who was abandoned by a coyote family that had dug a den in his backyard on the outskirts of Waterloo. Well, Stokes is suffering from a bone infection in a foot, was in danger of losing it, having it amputated, and he says Drifter kept him going.
Yeah.
Drifter.
When Drifter was just a little pup coyote. Well, Drifter, unfortunately, was just corralled by a neighbor while he was roaming the area and has been placed with a wildlife rehab agency. Mr. Stokes is now considering seeking a federal license to keep a dangerous animal, which I guess you can do.
So did he have this animal in his house, or he was just watching him in the yard, or what was going on there?
I don't have those details. I'm guessing if he snagged him as a pup, he probably had him in the house. I don't know. But
how in the world did the neighbor get a hold of him?
Well, when they say out
roaming and
let him
going
out
to the
do his thing. He's a drifter.
He's a drifter. Yeah.
Okay, and again, we've been doing this a while now, and when you ask me questions, you got to know I don't have the answers. That's just a gimme, John.
I know. I'm not saying you should know. I'm just saying I wonder. I wonder what the answer is.
Yeah,
I'm going to continue to wonder.
My guess is he's not going to see Drifter again, but that's just a guess.
So sad.
Again, for the real deal, when it comes to emotional support and support dogs, Big Paws Canine Foundation, right here local in Sioux Falls, they do amazing work, and it's all done with
no coyotes
local
at all.
Right.
It's all
legit.
All done with donations too.
Yeah. So. And you can donate, even if you don't need an oil change, you can still donate to Big Paws this month.
Absolutely.
Any month, but this would be a great month to do it. And there are probably some people listening that they're trying to do their donations by the end of the year. And if you haven't already got all that taken care of, bigpawscanine.com. You should reach out to him. Dan, thank you for the update there, sir.
Absolutely.
Coming up in a moment, we're going to make somebody a winner. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris on Sunny.
We all know someone that's a little weird. They're great, but they have a weird sense of humor. If you need to get them a gift for the holidays, be sure to check out weirdgiftoftheday.com. Each morning, we post a different weird item that will make you smile. There's no fee to join and no obligation to buy anything. Just follow our page on Facebook and get a smile each morning. WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com. Weird gift ideas for your weird friends. That's WeirdGiftOfTheDay.com.
Sunny 93.3, thank you for listening on a Friday. I'm going to sing a little song here that's going to drive some people crazy.
No.
Baby shark, baby shark.
Stop.
There are some people in studio that are not really big fans of that. I think it's because I keep singing it. But here's the thing. If you've got kiddos in your life that like Baby Shark, you need to be sure to register to win tickets. Right now, we've got some cool stuff we're giving away. We've got tickets for Paw Patrol Live, which is coming up in January. 2 different shows there. We got several tickets we're giving away that. Also, Baby Shark Live. Both of these events are going to be happening at the Denny Sanford Premier Center in Sioux Falls. That's in March. If you would like to win tickets, you can do that. Here's the crazy thing. I just put these tickets on Facebook and on our website, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. And I clicked on there to see, is anybody even interested in that? And it's a lot of people are interested in that. That's a big deal. I'm not quite sure how they put on this show, though. Because it's like
they're just in little shark costumes and they dance around. And
so they're not going to have real sharks in there?
For like
there's
90 minutes?
There's no real sharks. No, there's no real sharks.
There must be one heck of a dance mix version of this song because I'm sure it's more than
there's
that.
There's probably like a storyline and a play.
There must be. If you would like to go, if you've got kiddos that like the Baby Shark, be sure to check it out right now at sunnyradio.com. Click Win Awesome Prizes there, or you can find the link at facebook.com/sunnyradio.
Student loan debt is now the second highest consumer debt category behind only mortgage mortgage debt. It's higher than both credit cards and auto loans. Believe it or not, the average graduate walks away with anywhere from $25,000 to almost $40,000 in student loans. 2% even manage to owe over $100,000 by the time they graduate. If you have student loans, let us consolidate them into one loan and one payment at singlestudentloan.com. If you only have one student loan, we may offer a better rate to help you get that paid off sooner. Singlestudentloan.com. That's singlestudentloan.com.
Sunny 93.3. It's time right now for entertainment news of the day with Mr. Dan Farris.
Hey. What was that?
Hey.
Hey. Celebrities. Yikes. are indeed fabulous.
How about the game, Dan?
We can edit that, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of the game, I'm glad you brought that up because that is kind of what we'll be talking about here.
Nice.
Super Bowl 50 coming up February 2nd, of course. Facebook has actually produced its very first television ad, and that is going to premiere during the Super Bowl on February 2nd on Fox.
So there's a commercial for Facebook?
A commercial for Facebook, yes. And here's what I know about it so far. They've enlisted some pretty heavy hitters. In fact, Sylvester Stallone is in it, along with Chris Rock.
Wow.
The 60-second spot apparently is going to highlight Facebook groups, which of course lets users create specific communities for people to interact directly with each other, showing, quote, how people from different backgrounds come together over shared interests and experiences.
Yeah.
So it sounds like it's going to be a big, warm, fuzzy thing like that. Here's the other part of this, and this shocks me every year. I don't know why. I've been around media marketing for almost 40 years now, but this is always just so amazing to me. Inventory for the Super Bowl, and again, that's not till February 2nd, is already sold out.
Okay.
Commercial inventory is sold out on Fox. And usually early, actually, especially when you consider the price tag.
How much is it now?
It's up to, depending on if you're, pregame, postgame, halftime, there's different levels, depending.
What's
but the average price tag for a 30-second ad for the upcoming Super Bowl is $5.6 million.
Wow.
Whoa.
$5.6 million.
That's a lot for those of you who don't know that.
It's a lot of dough for one spin, but again, it's one of the biggest viewing audiences every year, and that's globally. So
yeah, and a lot of people watch it just for the commercials. We're some of those people.
Yeah, so $5.6 million for one ad during the Super Bowl, or like $5 for one ad on Sunny Radio.
No, we're not that. Well,
that's national, though.
Package.
Of course, for instance, most every market has its own network affiliates. For instance, Sioux Falls here, it's KTTW, headed up by my buddy Stacy and Kevin Colhane.
What's it cost to snag an ad?
There are local segments. I don't know.
We should buy one.
But it's for why.
We should buy one on it.
For why.
And then we should just use that time talking about how expensive the ad was.
Well, again, but I'm guessing that, I don't know if Fox locally here is already sold out. But again, it goes along the same way. Do you want, are you going to run in the first quarter? Are you going to run at halftime, pregame, postgame? It's, they have different rates depending on when those ads are going to be placed. So, yeah, it's pretty darn interesting. Oh, and just so you know, this Super Bowl is going to be the Baltimore Ravens against the Minnesota Vikings.
Oh, really?
In Miami, Florida. The Vikings will lose by a field goal in the last 23 seconds.
You know all of that already? Isn't it kind of early to know that yet? Or?
How do you think I make all my money? I do book, John.
So here's the thing. Dan already knows that Heidi and I know nothing about sports, but I was thinking that there were still games going on later than this. Because you were saying at one point that the Vikings and the Bears play at the end of December. Actually, the Vikings and Bears get together on December 29th. The Vikings are meeting up with the Packers on Monday night. Okay. And the Vikings will win, and it doesn't matter. They're going to win the NFC North. So they're going to go deep into the playoffs, and they're going to be in the Super Bowl against the Baltimore Ravens. Okay. I don't know. What? I don't know if I buy any of this. Somebody who knows something about sports, honestly, please help me. If you're a betting man, do not take this bet. Your crystal ball seems to be broken over there. Just do not. I have no choice. Born and raised a Vikings fan. Here I am on the bandwagon, man. To get destroyed year after year, but that's what I do. Why'd you bring the Ravens into it then? Because the Ravens, AFC, they're doing pretty well. They're
pretty nasty.
So that part is legit?
That part's legit, yes.
Well, Dan, thanks for coming in and confusing me with all the sports talk.
You know, when I'm not watching Hallmark, I'm digging deep into the NFL.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Farris on Sunny 93.3.